SummerSlam 2025 is here, the biggest party of the summer, and it's going 2 nights. Is it a good decision? Is it a bad decision? We're going to find out. But it's time for my predictions, and there's a lot of them, so strap in. I'm not too sure of the order of a lot of these. I'm just going to guess some of them and what's on night 1 and versus what's on night 2. First up, Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross in an odd match because the stipulation is the loser has to admit the other person's right. A lot of people online are giving out that the stipulation of this match is kind of bleh. Zayn won at Night of Champions, so you'd assume Kross is going to win in this case. I think it makes the most sense that Karrion Kross goes over here. It kind of furthers the storyline. You know, if Sami has to admit he's wrong, does that like burn Sami's soul and he finally goes to the dark side and turns heel, which is probably where they're going to go with Sami. But yeah, the stipulation is kind of whatever. So I'm going to go with Karrion Kross on that one. Next, for the Women's Tag Team Championships, we have the Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez against the unlikely pairing of Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. I feel like WWE is really trying to capitalize on this kind of groundswell that's come up behind Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Probably the only time I can think of in maybe the last 10 years that Charlotte has been cheered as a face. And I think their plans for everything involved in the Judgment Day were kind of thrown out of whack when Liv Morgan got injured. And I think they're going to strike while the iron is hot here with Bliss and Flair. I think they're actually going to pick up the victory. I don't know how that's going to come about. Is Dom going to get involved, try to get Judgment Day the win, but that accidentally ends up costing them further dissension. That's Judgment Day's whole MO. Will Liv come out and cause Judgment Day? She's angry that they've kind of replaced her with Roxanne Perez. I don't know, but I feel like the women's division, especially the tag division, maybe needs a new kind of injection of life, and maybe Bliss and Flair can do that and maybe bring some relevancy to the women's tag titles. So I think they're going to pick up the win there. In another tag team match, Randy Orton and Jelly Roll are taking on Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre seems like he was stuck back in Scotland for a while there. He had visa or passport issues. He saw the predictions. He saw he was getting pinned by Jelly Roll. He didn't want to get over to the States. Look, do we really care about celebrity matches? A lot of the times, no. But Jelly Roll does seem like a pretty genuine guy, and it seems like he's a big wrestling fan, and he's putting the work in to get to a stage where he can perform at a decent level. He said he's the lowest weight he's been in years. He's down in the performance center. He's watching stuff at NXT. He's watching tape. He's studying. I think he doesn't want to go there and embarrass himself. That's nice to see. That's refreshing. He kind of respects wrestling and wrestling fans, and he wants to put a bit of effort in. Not the usual celebrity tripe, Travis Scott doing nothing. But who's going to win here? It seems like the general consensus is that Drew is going to be taking the pin from Jelly Roll. I don't know, I can't see it. But then again, celebrity win. You bring in a celebrity, usually they kind of get the win, you know, if they're a babyface celebrity, which most of the time they are. I do think Orton's team and Jelly Roll is going to get the win. I just don't think Jelly Roll is going to get the pin. There's an easy out here. Orton pins Logan Paul. That's the out. Have Orton pin Logan Paul. Have him and Jelly Roll have a great time. And then, you know, if you want to get Drew, get his heat back, have him take out Orton after the match. You could have Drew walk out, you know, he's doing all pomp and circumstance. Logan Paul is still there. Orton's recovered at this stage. Then Jelly Roll can do a big splash on Logan Paul. Everyone goes home happy. There's an easy out for WWE here. We don't need to bury Drew McIntyre. What's happened to Drew McIntyre? Him and CM Punk had like the best feud ever last year. And now, so my predictions, Orton and Jelly Roll get the win, Orton pin and Logan Paul. Next, for the WWE Women's Championship, Tiffany Stratton defends against Jade Cargill, who's cashing in her I won the Queen of the Ring in the bank contract. I think we all felt that Naomi could have got involved here before she cashed in her Money in the Bank. So I feel like she's a non-factor here. So I feel like this is just going to be a straight up wrestling match between these two. Most people are expecting Jade to win. I've seen a lot of people say a lot rely on this in terms of Jade. If she doesn't win, the kind of Jade Cargill experiment is just completely gone. Like, she hasn't seen enough improvement since she's come over from AEW. If she loses here, is it a burial? It's a further kind of indictment from the company that they don't see her as a champion that can carry the brand. I don't know if I see it like that. I've liked Tiffany Stratton's reign. I feel like she's put on a good few matches. Her match with Charlotte at WrestleMania was good. But I don't know, I've just got a good instinct that Tiffany's retaining here. The story makes sense. Cargill wins the Queen of the Ring. She goes on, wins the title. That's the kind of rise of her character. But I don't know, I just feel like Tiffany's going to take the win. I don't know how it's going to happen. Is there going to be some interference? You know, the Bianca Belair is... I don't think she's going to return and become a heel. So Naomi is still kind of involved with Jade, kind of parallel to her own world title reign and what she's got going on right now. But I'm just going to throw it out there. Do you know what? Naomi, she's just going to be spiteful. Naomi's going to cost Cargill. Tiffany Stratton to retain, but that's just going to further plant seeds for her, Naomi, Bianca. Like, that's like its own separate bubble of storylines, even though Naomi's in other storylines as well. It's nice to see the women get a lot of interlocking storylines. The men get that a lot, so it's nice to see that for the women. But you know what? I'm going to go throw my neck out in the line. Tiffany Stratton wins. Next, in another tag match, it's Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, and Jey Uso versus Bronson Breaker. Bronson Breaker? Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Who knows what their original plans were before Rollins got injured? But I feel like this probably could have been. I don't know, would Roman be kind of in this position if Rollins didn't get injured? But I don't know. Look, I think this match is a foregone conclusion. I don't think they're going to make Roman lose on his return match, his first match back since WrestleMania. But then again, there is an easy out if just Jay takes the pin. Who do I want to win? I think Breaker and Reed should win. I feel like Seth's faction since WrestleMania has been cool. It's been visually cool, but they haven't been booked like this unstoppable force that is going to take over Monday Night Raw and the WWE. That could really send a statement if they pick up the win here, but are they going to make Roman lose on his return match? Look, Roman doesn't have to take the pin. Do you know, I'm going to go with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are going to take the win here. Jay's going to take the pin, probably from a Breaker spear into the fourth dimension. Roman can look really strong. He could be taken out, like Paul Heyman's probably at ringside. He could get involved, hit him with the briefcase. The other guys could hit him with the briefcase. Could Seth be hobbling around, hitting him with the briefcase? You can protect Roman easily here. And look, why not just further Jay down this, I'm like getting beat up, I'm crap, I'm always losing. Not that Jay's always losing, but he always seems to be that sympathetic character where like even when he wins the Intercontinental title, it's great. He reminds me of a Sami Zayn almost, where like he just, even though sometimes he does win and he wins plenty, it just always seems like he's downtrodden and beaten down. And I kind of want to see Seth's faction get a bit more, oomph behind him. You know what? I'm going Breaker and Reed to win this match. And then in the main event of night one, I think this has been confirmed as the main event of night one, Gunther defends the World Heavyweight Championship against CM Punk. A lot of people have this nailed down as a foregone conclusion that Punk is going to win. Gunther's like a traditional champion. I don't know. I'm not saying Punk won't win, but I don't think this is as easy to predict as everyone thinks. We have the Rollins wildcard in there. Is he going to cash in this match? Will he cash in on night two's main event? Is the injury fake or not? If I was to make a prediction right now, I don't think the injury is fake. I think the injury is legit. I don't think Rollins is cashing in at SummerSlam. And for this match itself, I just don't think it's easy to predict. I think Punk has a great chance of winning, but maybe 60-40 Punk rather than everyone saying it's like 90-10. I don't know, but Triple H loves Gunther. Do you know what? Punk's been back in the company long enough now without a championship. It would be great if him and Gunther had a really good back and forth competitive match. Punk wins, Punk picks up the victory. But like, have it be this close. There's no need for it to be. I don't even want Gunther to like completely demolish and Punk kind of rallies quickly at the end, roll up or GTS and that's it. Have a really good competitive match. Have like Cena style, SummerSlam 2016. Don't even leave the ring. Have it go on for 30 minutes. Have so many near falls. Have you question who's going to win. But if I had to lay my neck on the line, I'm going to go no Rollins catch in, CM Punk picks up the victory. Pinfall is going to pin. Jay picked up the title at WrestleMania from making Gunther pass out, so I don't think they're going to go with that again. Do you know what? 3 GTSs takes Gunther out, Punk picks up the win. For the beginning of night 2, in a match that has the potential to probably be the best match of the whole weekend, or one of those, how did they mess this up matches that WWE seems to do a lot more often than not. Defending their WWE Tag Team Championships, it's the Wyatt Six versus DIY versus the Street Profits versus Fraxium versus the Motor City Machine Guns versus Andrade and Rey Fenix in a TLC match. I think they are doing this because it's the 25th anniversary of the first TLC match back at SummerSlam 2000, but there was 3 teams in that. Now we've got 6 teams, twice as many people, twice as many bodies, twice as much carnage, twice as good. Probably not. This match could run into difficulties, but like I said, there's too many bodies. Not enough people have enough time to showcase. There's not enough space to breathe. It'll just be a lot of quick 30-second spots, and then that guy powders, he lies on the outside for 10 minutes, etc, etc, etc. But if this is really planned out well, these matches can be amazing. I just feel like sometimes WWE, more often than not, they under-deliver in their kind of TLC Money in the Bank multi-man matches. Too often, it's just 2 guys end up being in the ring at once. Fist, spot, roll out. 2 guys, fist, spot, roll out, rather than a continuous flow. I feel like the early TLC matches did have, it seemed like everything kind of rolled nicely one into the other. So hopefully that doesn't happen. So I am looking forward to this. I do think the Wyatt Six is going to pick up the victory. They need to keep their momentum going, a real dominant, maybe not a dominant victory, but I hope it's not just they're out on the floor for 10 minutes and lights go out and they're just on the ladder and win. Give everyone their fair share of spots. I'm sure Andrade, Rey Fenix, the Guns, they're going to have a great showing. But Wyatt Six can have that real brutal showing, Put Alex Shelley through about 10 tables, break Andrade's back off a ladder. I want to see it. But Wyatt Six, in my opinion, they're going to retain. For the Intercontinental Championship, Dominic Mysterio defending against AJ Styles in a match I am so excited for. I was so annoyed when it got cancelled off the Night of Champions card. I think Dom got injured, but I just feel like AJ Styles, fantastic worker. Dominic Mysterio, probably the most improved, and you can't even say he's underrated. One of the most exciting talents to watch in wrestling today. There's so much potential. Who knows where he's going to go in the next 5-10 years. I was there at WrestleMania when he won the title. It was really exciting. I actually got really close to him at the post show when he was doing the interview with all the fans outside the stadium. Really happy for Dom. He won the title. It's really exciting to watch. I'm liking this storyline where AJ Styles, he's got like different jobs. He's keeping an eye on Dom. So this is going to be really interesting. If those 2 guys put their heads together and backstage like, you know what? We're just going to show everyone out and have the match of the weekend. I think they could. But I think Dom is going to get the win here. He's going to cheat. There's going to be shenanigans. shenanigans. The Judgment Day are going to get involved. He'll get his foot on the ropes. He'll pull the tights. He'll come out on top. What if they had a rematch at Clash in Paris? AJ picks up the win there. He's so popular in Europe, they might want to give it to him there. But I think Dom's going to win this one. But you know what I would love? Again, I think you can tell there's a pattern here. Some matches do need shenanigans, and that's fine. We can have run-ins, etc. But it really sends a statement. If Dom won clean, he just beat AJ Styles, no cheating, no underhanded tactics, in like a 15-minute match. Like, what does that do for a Dominic Mysterio character? It shows he's cheating and he's conniving, he's a sniveling heel. But he can also go in the ring. That's cool. Like, that's what made people love Kurt Angle back in the day. They are a scumbag and you do want to hate him, but you can't deny they're a good wrestler. Give that to Dom. I think Dom picks up the win here. In a steel cage match, Solo Sikoa defends his United States Championship against Jacob Fatu. I'm a big fan of Jacob Fatu. I'm probably even bigger fan of Solo Sikoa, which might shock a lot of people. I don't know. I've watched Solo come from this kind of, okay, he's just filler for the main event. He's filling in for Roman. He's fighting Cody on all the house shows. He's kind of whatever. But Solo was kind of stuck through all that and he hasn't really dropped too far down the card. People have kind of discovered he is really funny. He's really good as a heel character. He reminds me of Kevin Owens. Off mic comments, he's always talking and trash talking in the ring. Kevin Owens is so good at that. And I'm a big fan of Kevin Owens and I like that Solo Sikoa does that. Jacob Fatu is obviously just a freak. He's such a good big man. We wouldn't call him a big man, but he's obviously a big beefy boy. But he's so athletic. I'm expecting a moonsault off the cage. I know he'll have the match won. Yeah. Don't do it, Jacob. Don't do it. Moonsault in the ring. Will he hit it? He'll probably miss. Nobody ever hits the moonsault off the cage. But yeah, who should win this one? People think Fatu's going to win this back. I don't see that happening at all. Like, well, I think Fatu could have another Bloodline member he's called in from some other promotion that is now in WWE that's going to help him win. I just don't see it here. I feel like the numbers game will pile up against him. Solo's going to have Hikuleo, Tangaloa, Tamatonga, Mateo. I feel like even though the steel cage is designed to stop people from coming in, it would make more sense if it was Hell in a Cell in that sense, because they can just easily come in, they climb over the top and go in the door. But I feel like they're going to help Solo retain here. There might be a post-match beatdown, and that's where I feel like a new debuting member, Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, might come out, make the save, set up something for War Games. But I digress. Solo's picking up the win. For the Women's Intercontinental Championship, Becky Lynch defending against Lyra Valkyria. This is a 2 out of 3 falls match, so that's an interesting spice to add to the dynamic, the stipulation of the match. I feel like the thing you can't ignore with this match is they've been teasing Bayley turning heel. Will she cost Lyra this match and kind of team up with Becky, you know, the two vets going together? And I feel like that's where they're going with it. I feel like Becky's going to cost Lyra the match. I feel like it's going to be one apiece. I feel like Becky's going to pick up the first fall, Lyra will pick up the second fall. It'll look like Lyra's going to pick up the third. Bayley will come in and cost her. I don't know where it goes from there though, because you feel like this will be the blow off of Becky and Lyra's feud, at least for now. But if Bayley sides with Becky, then where does Lyra go from there? Because wouldn't that just continue? It'll probably be Lyra and Bayley kind of going at it. Maybe Becky will go on to someone else. I feel like Lyra should win because I think it's more interesting having a newer, younger champion than Becky. But I feel like the direction they're heading and they've been teasing is Bayley turning heel, and she's going to team up with Lynch. So I feel like Becky's going to pick up the win. In our penultimate match, Naomi defends her World Heavyweight Championship against Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Who would have thought Naomi would have gone on such a cool character transformation this late in her career? She's never been more relevant, but a lot of people are writing her off for this match. They're saying she's the third wheel. This is kind of Io and Rhea's thing they've got going on. They're kind of eternal rivals. But I don't think so. I think Naomi's going to pick up the win here. I feel like Rhea's not going to pin Io Sky. They're saving that for probably next WrestleMania where she'll finally get the win over her. And I feel like they just wouldn't put the belt on Naomi and take it off her this quickly. Unless it was like a congratulatory, okay, you're going on probably the best run of your career, so let's give you a reward and we're just going to take it off you like a token championship. I don't think that's what they're going to go with it. I feel like Naomi's going to pick up the win, and I think she'll probably pin Rhea Ripley. I feel like that can further the story of Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Io can bring it up. You're the one that got pinned. You lost. You've never beat me. So it further plants the doubt in this Rhea Ripley character. She's the female John Cena, basically, of the women's division. And it's always interesting to see the female kind of hero character of a division have a lot of doubt within themselves. That's way more interesting. And they're probably going to give Rhea the title at that Australia show. Crown Jewel, is that in Perth? I think that Crown Jewel is called. The one, Crown Jewel's a Saudi show, so I don't know why. Why just to make up like an Australian themed show? Kangaroo Jack's the show. Rhea will probably pick it up there, so I feel like Naomi's going to hold the title here. And it'll be nice to give her a few more months with the title. She doesn't have to go on a year-long run, but why not? She's doing some good work. The other girls don't need it right now. Their storyline's already hot as enough as it is. Naomi picks up the win here. And in the main event of night 2 of SummerSlam, the overall main event, in a street fight, John Cena defends his undisputed championship against Cody Rhodes in a rematch from their WrestleMania 41 main event. I was there for that match and it was disappointing, I can't lie. Look, I went out to Vegas to see John Cena. It's his last ever WrestleMania, if he's telling the truth. I couldn't miss up on that opportunity. So I was there in the stadium. It was great to see him. It was great to see Cena win a world title, a 17th title, a world record setting title. That'll never be taken away from me. But the match itself, it was boring. It was slow. The Travis Scott run in. Cena struggles working as a heel. Don't get me wrong, I was pumped when he won. I was probably the loudest one around in our section. But the match was a letdown. So this can be the make good. It's a street fight. We can get all the shenanigans. We need a bit of weapons. I would love if this was like Cena versus JBL I Quit Match 2005. Just so much blood. You know, that iconic image of Cena with the two belts just absolutely gushing. Why not? It's SummerSlam. The street fight stipulation does allow them a bit more leeway if there are run-ins. If there is a bit of ref bumps, we can get a bit of weapons. It doesn't have to be as slow. We don't have to kind of sneak around. I have to cheat to be a heel. I think it'll pick up the pace a bit. I think that works better. I think Cena, he tried to slow things way down, and Cena is a slower worker as is. And when he became heel, he slowed it way down, and it just doesn't work. It's too slow. I get what you're trying to do. Speed it up, John. Come on, let's go. Pick it up. Turns out who's going to win. Everyone's predicting that Cody heel turn. I don't know where they're going to go with the Cody heel turn, because if they do the double turn like everyone says, Cody turns heel, Cena turns face. So what is it for the next few months of Cena's retirement tour? If Cena wasn't retiring, you could kind of see where that ends up. But if Cody's just be like, that's right, I lied to you all, I had to be evil, and John Cena's just like, oh my God, he turned evil. If Cody wins here and turns heel, what I would do is I would have Cena be so shocked at his action and what this turned Cody into, that Cena kind of realizes, oh my God, this is my effect I'm having on other people. That's the only way you can go with it. I don't know. I really don't know who's going to win. I think it makes the most sense for Cody to win. Cena, he only has, what, 5 months left? He needs to drop the heel character, the greatest of all time kind of champion thing. Look, they tried something. It didn't work. It's not working. You need to kind of steer it back so the Cena retirement tour doesn't leave a bad taste in everyone's mouth. So I think Cody is going to win. I don't think he's going to turn fully heel though. I just don't see it. I don't see what benefit that has here. Cody will turn heel at some point. I don't think him turning heel on John Cena though, there's just not enough time to tell that story. I think Cena retiring, to me, it doesn't work, personally. But what do I know? So I am going to predict, I'm a big John Cena fan. Why can't he just retire as well? No, Cody, Cena's had his time. Cody maybe slightly cheat to win. Not cheat, it's a street fight, but slightly get a bit violent and a bit brutal to win. Tease the heel turn, plant some seeds. And of course, I don't think Rollins is going to cash in. I do think the injury is legit. A lot of now that will be shocking. Everyone thinks if Rollins is going to cash in, it'll probably be in the world title match, Punk and Gunther. There's a lot of, oh my God, what if it's a complete twist? He just cashes in here. That could be another route to get the Cena face turn. What if either Cena wins, Rollins cashes in on him, everyone sympathizes with Cena, or what if Cody wins, Rollins cashes in on him and Cena sees, oh my God, like what a cunt. What if Cody wins, Rollins goes to cash in on Cody and Cena stops him, turning him face. Oh my God, he saved everyone's favourite. But then again, people don't really like Cody. Well, not they don't like him, but they're turning on Cody. Will they turn him face? I don't know. I don't think there's a Rollins cash in. I think Cody's going to walk out with the belt. And Cena's going to have a great last few months and everyone's going to love him. That's it for my predictions for SummerSlam 2025. A stacked card. Everyone's saying this is the WrestleMania card we probably should have got. I am expecting big things. I do think it's going to be a good show. I think when it's all said and done, we will look back on it as a good show. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. Don't let me down, Triple H. But what do you think? Were my predictions absolutely ass? Do I not have a clue about wrestling? Let me know down in the comments. Enjoy SummerSlam. Enjoy both nights. Get some food. Get some friends over to get some drink. Have a good time. Like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.